And welcome into In-Game Chat for Saturday, September the 13th, 2025. It is Season 19, Episode 28. And I'm Scott.
And I'm RJ.
And welcome into the show as I get this out of the way real quick.
Clap, clap.
Yeah. This will help me greatly whenever I edit the video to synchronize the audio there. But let me run through our usual opening here before we get to our guests. If you'd like to get in touch with us, our phone, well, if you want to get in touch with us, Discord's the best way to do it. But go to ingamechat.net for all the links to get in touch with us. You can find us on Twitter. We're on Blue Sky. We're at In-Game Chat on Facebook. You can email us, everyone at ingamechat.net. We're streaming right now on Twitch. You can go to twitch.tv, search for In-Game Chat, and you'll find us. You can also go to our website. There's a link at the bottom for you to get in that way as well. And, of course, we've got Discord. There's also a link to that at our website, ingamechat.net, that you can go to and join us live while we broadcast. And we got some folks in there. I think we got some folks in there already. Yes, we do. So there we go. AC Wraith is hanging out. And so is Lethal Migraine. And, yeah. Okay, so... Okay, all right. I was just checking. Somebody in the chat room said that there was audio cutting in and out. And Lethal Migraine says he has no issues. AC Wraith says, okay. He said it's plugins. Maybe they're speeding things up. So anyway, thankfully, all of that is taken care of there, and we can get on with the show here. I want to do one more thing and I should have done this earlier, and I did not. Let's see if it's in here. Hang on. Yeah, that's what I wanted. Okay. Do this. I have to set it up because our guest, I have music from his game, and I will be playing that music as we come out of the interview. But right now, and I'm big nervous on this. I'm big nervous on this because I'm so afraid of messing up his name. Aaron Gwynaire? Are you there, Aaron? Hello? Aaron? Come in, Aaron. Oh, I don't know if he has... I don't know if it's got to be done push to talk. I'll tell you what, Aaron, why don't I jump into, I don't know if you're talking right now, but we're not picking you up, Aaron. I'm not sure if you're there or not. He unmuted himself, but I don't see anything going on here. Options. No. I don't see anything. I don't see. Oh, there he is. He's popping in to there. Hey, Aaron. I don't know if you can hear me or not, but why don't we try and do it through the chat here? And I'm going to give you a call here. Hang on just a second. In fact, I'm going to dip out of the room that we're in, and I'm also going to turn that off. So I'm going to dip out of the room. Yeah, this is fine. This is fine. And then I'm going to do it here. Let's see if this works. Okay, let's see if he is there. Aaron, you there? Aaron, I'm still not getting you for some reason. Like, it doesn't even show that you're lighting up there as far as talking. Can you hear me at all? Well, okay, he just muted his headset, or maybe he's changing things around. Yeah, I don't know. Discord goes really easy most of the time, so I'm not sure really what's happening. He's typing something now. So hopefully we can figure out what's happening here. And figure this out. No, you know, Discord is such a real simple hardly ever have any issues with it, so there was no sort of like, we didn't set any, we didn't run any tests on this.
Yeah.
No, I can't hear you at all. In fact, your icon is not showing up as, green when you're talking. If you're talking, it's not showing up that way. For some reason or another. Let's see, output device. Hang on a second. Output device. Can you try calling back? Sure, I can do that. Wow, that is really loud. See, we're getting audio from...
Yeah, obviously we're getting audio.
Yeah, we're getting audio there, so let me try again. Okay, we're back in there. I think. But still nothing. I don't really know what's going on. I'm going to do a disconnect, and then I'm going to try another call. Join the voice call. Let's see. Anything? Nope, he left that. Okay, then I'll leave there. All right, so we're going to try again. Whoop, that's ringing. Okay, he is back in. And still not getting any audio. Well, I'm not sure why that is. We are getting audio from the computer, so I would think that if he were to speak, we'd be able to hear him. And he may be speaking right now, but I'm just looking at the way Discord works. Your icon, your avatar, whatever the thing is that you're using that represents yourself, it lights up green whenever you speak. And that would tell me that he's saying something, but we're not hearing it, I guess, if that was the case. But I don't see it lighting up for him, as I do see it lighting up for me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to move this over here so you can see this as well, RJ.
Mm-hmm.
He says he can hear us, but it's weird that I can't hear him. Yeah, I'm not sure what the deal is. And yeah, usually Discord does have no problem working great. I'm trying to see if there's anything. There's voice and video settings, but I mean, we've never had this problem before. Yeah, I don't want to mess up anything. Yeah, it does. Normally it does work great. I don't exactly know why it's not working right now.
Yeah, I'm not seeing anything that's out of order on this thing either. So
I know I hate to troubleshoot on air like this when this sort of thing happens.
Yeah.
But normally this would be I'm going to move back over here. Normally this would be a very quick fix of just start over, do something like that, or check some connections.
Mm-hmm.
Things are working great. Things seem to be working great on our end here. Not that I wish I could figure something. I wish there was another way around that. I can't think of anything. I would say maybe in your channel on Discord is a possibility. But at this point, trying it in mine or, in in-game chats, then trying it in just the private call here, and neither is working. I don't know that it would work in your channel as well. Very strange. We've never had this problem before. We have that open channel in our Discord for people to pop in and talk to us and ask questions, and while it's been a minute since anybody's done that, it's never had an issue. They've always been able to chat and hear us. We've been able to hear them, put it that way. I mean, yeah. He can hear us, but we can't hear anything he's saying at all. If you would like to, Aaron, I don't know what your schedule is. We can push this back to next week, and then maybe during the week try and work this out between us to try and get this fixed, if you can hear me. He is typing right now. He says, yeah, that'll be good. Okay. Mm-hmm. Well, then let's push for that to happen next week, and then in between, we'll try and work out the issues here and get back with you on this. And I'm so sorry about that. Hopefully hopefully we can get it working again and actually have you on next week. So my apologies. Go get some sleep because I know it's like 10 p.m. over there. But we'll try and do this again next week for you, man. Okay, take care, and we will talk to you soon. If you think you can get it figured out, feel free to pop back in. But otherwise, we'll try it again next week, man. Mm-hmm. Take care. Well, there we go. That, kind of throws off what I was going to do.
Slightly. Yeah,
just ever so slightly. There, mm-hmm. I didn't have a lot of news in here, just for the fact that I knew we'd be talking to him for a while, mm-hmm. which is not necessarily a problem. There is plenty of news, to talk about. But the first things that we'll talk about is what have we played. Mm-hmm. RJ, over to you.
Well, I got into the beta for Virtua Fighter 5 Revo for the PS5, and so it's been a long time since I've been to a beta. So, get all the bugs and whatever, report them in to folks and things like that, right? Mm-hmm. And something I was really happy about with VF5 Revo was that we're going to have crossplay. So I was going to be able to play with folks on the PlayStation Network as well as Steam and PC, right?
Yeah.
Only problem is that first night of playing, when I had it set to all platforms, Steam and PlayStation Network, the thing would never let me start up a match. It would say connected to the players, and all of a sudden, bam, it would just cut out, mm-hmm. would disconnect and immediately, right? And it was really disturbing to see that until I put it on PlayStation Network only, and it worked fine. No issues, no hiccups, no nothing. It ran pretty smooth, actually. Green connection, yellow connection, high ping, low ping, it still ran pretty fine when I had it on PlayStation Network only. So I'll probably be reporting that when I make a report to the to Sega, who's running the beta, and see what they do about that. But after that was the first night of doing so. Second night of doing so, I put it on all platforms again, see if it would run again, and it ran fine that time. So I guess a lot of people had the same issue I did and reported earlier than I did. So it ran pretty well. So I'm going to be looking forward to doing that when the game comes out late this month. Other than that, Division 2, I'm still working on some things that I wanted to get.
Yeah, that's nice. Glad you're still doing that.
Yeah, I'm still trying to look for a certain weapon in the game, but unfortunately, the item is most likely going to pop up this week. This week anyway, during the time I was playing, in a dark zone, which is basically the PvP zone, the mm-hmm. high-end area thing.
Yeah.
Essentially, everything's a bullet sponge except you in this area. So 3 shots in, and I was scrambling for my life trying to go into cover. When normally it's not like that. I could take a little bit before I can go into cover for that. I mean, I had like a million units of armor for this game, and it just wasn't enough. So I had to got to figure out how to get through that area because there's a lot of good stuff in this area, but because of my what you say squishy at the beginning, that's why I wasn't able to go as far as I wanted to in that area. So other than that, that's pretty much all I've been playing this week.
Yeah, I was just checking on. We got another thing from Aaron there. He says, I can try restarting PC. Maybe could be a glitch somewhere. Usually do video audio calls, but I don't see how that could change the mic. Apologies for that. We'll definitely pick up again. So, yeah, we are going to go back. The other thing that I noticed was that while you were speaking there, mm-hmm. Matt joined us in the chat room there. Matt, are you there?
Yeah, can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Yeah.
Okay. Good to know the audio works.
Yeah, I heard some of that, and I've had issues sometimes with Discord with Kevin joining with him, and usually it's on. For me, it sounded like it might be like it's not big. His microphone, because he said it wasn't turning green when he was talking.
Correct.
Right? Yeah. He might need to go into his voice and video settings and make sure that it's selected the right microphone, because sometimes my computer will change which microphone it's hearing or trying to pick up. And then, make sure the right microphone selected, make sure the right headphone selected, and also, as silly as it is, make sure the microphone's not muted.
Right, yeah, there's always that, too.
Mm-hmm. I've had that issue more times than I could count.
Well, we're going to get back with Aaron. He said, he sent a text or a message saying that we'll arrange another time, and we'll definitely do a test beforehand. to make sure.
And
Although
made for compelling radio.
yeah, it did, didn't it? It was just wonder, it's like, oh man, and I hate when that happens. We have not done. This would have been the first time we've done an interview.
It's been a few years, right?
It's been some years since we've had anybody on the show, and was really looking forward to talking to him, and I'm still looking forward to it. We're going to make this happen in some way or another because he's got a game that's very up my alley, which is NEYYAH, and I was going to ask him if I got it right as far as the pronunciation of it, NEYYAH. Whichever.
Where's he from?
He, I'm not exactly sure. He's back and forth, I think, between the UK and Australia.
Okay, because I heard you say it was like several hours ahead.
Right now he's in the UK.
Okay.
And so it's like 10 p.m. there.
Yeah, it's almost 9. It's 9:22 there.
Okay, yeah. So he is. That's where he's at right now, and we'll figure out where he's going to be next week. Probably still in the UK, I would think, but we'll have him back on. I'm not sure why that didn't work. By the way, Matt, what have you been playing?
Work.
Actually. Oh yeah, that fun game called Work, man. That's one of those roguelites that just keep going and going until you die.
Yeah, I got back into the DLC for Indy.
I did not. I don't know if you heard that, but I thought I was going to try and do it, but when I opened up Game Pass, I realized that the DLC is not part of Game Pass. You have to buy it.
I had the season pass, so I had it.
Yeah, I didn't have the season pass, so it's just fine. I'll get around to it.
Yeah. But no, I heard that. I tuned in a little bit, and I was trying to see if I couldn't get while he was there, maybe like get a message to you, but just missed it. So
well, no, you did fine because I was going to hit somebody up in there to say, hey, can somebody jump in there and talk to us and see if that's working? Because it's been a while since we've had anybody join us in the chat room. But when I saw you pop in there, I was like, there's Matt thinking what I'm thinking. He's going to pop in, and we're going to see if this thing works, and it absolutely does. So that's good to know. At least we know that this works. So
yeah, at least on my end and yours.
Yeah, exactly. So, and that's okay.
All right,
man. Well, take care, and hopefully,
y'all.
Hopefully we'll have you on the show again. Once you beat Work.
Do you ever beat Work?
I told you it's like a roguelike. You just keep going until you die.
Yeah.
And then when you do, you start over.
Yeah.
Take care, buddy. We'll talk to you later.
For the night.
All right, man. Bye-bye. Was that all that you've been playing? Just
those two, really.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. For me, what have I played? I have mainly it's been Spidey-Mans. I've been playing Spider-Man 2 on the PS5. I feel like I played something else on my PC, but maybe not. I don't know, more, Marvel Snap and stuff. But really, once I got into Spider-Man 2, I was just like, oh, that's fun again,
Yeah.
It doesn't. Right now, I'm very mildly playing it, and by mildly I mean I'm hardly advancing the story at all. Mm-hmm. I am just swinging around town, busting up criminals, upgrading my levels and everything else. But the problem with doing that, and the problem with any of these things, is like that is my method of playing an open world type game like this. It's like do as much as you can before you advance the story. Try and get all your little gadgets and all your little upgrades and everything else as much as you can, except, and I have to remember this, and I usually don't remember it until I'm actually playing one of these types of games, they block that off. They don't allow you to, in other words, you can sit there and level up and level up and level up and level up, but you got nothing to spend your points on or any of your stuff on because things don't unlock until you've advanced the story.
Exactly. Yeah.
So right now, I know that my maneuverability, my combat, a bunch of this stuff is at the bare minimum. Even though I'm like rank 11 or whatever, I don't know what my level is right now. I'm way further than I should be in the story as far as the leveling should be. In other words, the mission I'm about to go on, I should be at like level 5 rather than level 11.
Yeah.
That's how quick it would pop up. Not that there's any problem with dealing with enemies. I don't believe they scale for you. But I know how these games turn out. I know how the last Spider-Man game did it. I know how a lot of these open world games did it. Things are okay at the beginning, and then eventually, as you progress, it starts to fill up with all sorts of stuff. Mm-hmm. Maybe all sorts of annoying stuff.
Difficulty ramps up.
Well, yeah. I remember back in... Oddly enough, it's another Spider-Man game, but I want to say it was called... It's not called Web of Spider-Man. That's the name of a comic. It was one that had... It was one on the old... Probably 360 PlayStation 3 days.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't remember the name of it. But you played as Spider-Man, and then you could switch between red suit Spider-Man, black suit Spider-Man. Wolverine was in it for a little bit. Moon Knight was in it, I think. And I can't remember the name.
Shattered Dimensions?
Shattered Dimensions.
Okay.
I think that's the one. You know what? I got to look at the box art.
It's like a.
It's not
like
the
four,
one.
It's like four different versions of
It's
Spider-Man.
not
back to
that
back.
one.
Not that
It's
one?
not
Okay.
that one. Because I was about to say it was by.
Shattered Dimensions, The Amazing Spider-Man, Web of Shadows.
Web of Shadows. That's what it was.
Okay.
Yep, Web of Shadows. I knew it had Web in the title.
Mm-hmm.
There it is, Spider-Man Web of Shadows. That's the one that I played. So in that one, you have a choice in that game. You can play... there are certain ways you can go about it to play different... I say choices. I'm not saying that the choices matter, but you can not necessarily play good or evil, but there's certain paths you can take.
Mm-hmm.
And I played through the game taking one path, and I would like to go back and play through and take another. But I knew that once a certain point I had passed in it, I knew that like I was going to have to deal with snipers, or I was going to have to deal with, in Assassin's Creed earlier on, or early in Assassin's Creed, you can do all this stuff. But then as the game progresses, they're like, well, now they've got people on the rooftops. Your rooftops used to be your safe haven. You get to the roof, you good.
Mm-hmm.
Just hide up on there until people go away. And then they started putting people on the roof. So... in the Spider-Man games, and I remember from previous Spider-Man games, open world Spider-Man games, that the more you do, the more you advance, the more they put stuff in your way that doesn't necessarily take the fun out of it. It's just, it's there for you to use against, but you don't get that fun of just swinging. And in Web of Shadows, the old game from Web of Shadows, eventually something happens, and it's just not as fun swinging around the city anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And
it's restricted.
It seems to be restricted or something. I can't remember because this game released back in 2008. And so, makers, by the way, Treyarch are the makers of that game. Call of Duty fans will recognize that name. But yeah, and I can't remember. I'd have to go back. By the way, that was a really fun game, Web of Shadows. I played Shattered Dimensions. I didn't really like it, even though it had like some of the, Spider-Man 2099 and Spider-Man Noir in it and that sort of thing. But Web of Shadows I really, really enjoyed. So much so that I actually wanted to go through it again, and I still have the game box at the house. The ones that you like, you keep,
Oh, yeah.
Even when a trade-in comes and it's like, hey, I can get a lot of money for this. It's like, I really like that game. I might go back and play it again. I need to see if that's backwards compatible on the Series X. Yeah. Let's see. Web of Shadows.
Did you have it for the Xbox?
Oh, jeez. Siri's talking to me. I didn't even say that. I had never said your name. Is it on PC? Hold up. It did get released on PC. Huh.
Picking it up?
It's on the... That says Steam Community. I'm looking around here. Apparently you can buy a boxed copy, but I don't have a disk drive. I don't have a disk drive in my computer. Huh.
I'm seeing videos of how to play Spider-Man Web of Shadows on the Steam Deck.
Yeah, because I think you could probably get it on there to work.
Yeah.
Let's see if it's available. Nope. Web of Shadows is not natively playable on Xbox Series X because it is not a backward-compatible title for the current generation of consoles. Web of Shadows was not among the titles made backward-compatible, meaning you cannot play an Xbox 360 copy of the game on that. Well, that sucks.
Yep. Well, you still got options to play it, though.
Yeah, and trust me, I'm going to be looking into those options.
Mm-hmm.
Been a while since I played it. My memory and my what's the term I'm trying to think of? My rose-tinted glasses here.
Mm-hmm.
Could jump back into it after being this long and be like, "Oh, this is crap. Oh, this is horrible.
Yeah,
this is not good at all." And then move on from there, where it's like, yeah, it was good for the time that it was in.
Mm-hmm.
It's not good right now.
It's possible.
It is possible.
It's possible. Look, there's plenty of titles that have stood the test of time, man. No matter how old it is, still
totally
enjoyable to play.
Yeah. No. I totally get you on that. Let's look up. Let's look at Web of Shadows gameplay. That says 4K, but I don't believe you.
Trying to remember the older Spider-Man game I played was the one with Bruce Campbell narrating.
That was the movie games.
The movie games, yeah.
Yep,
okay.
That was the movie games. For whatever reason, an hour and 46 minutes into this video, I ran into the fight that Spider-Man has with Wolverine. And it's a quiz. It is a comic book quiz. I remember, he's trying, Logan, Wolverine, whatever. Yeah. Mm-hmm. He's trying to figure out if you are the Spider-Man that he knows.
Mm-hmm.
Because in this, the other Spider-Man, Venom, is causing all kinds of chaos and carnage and whatever else, and they're trying to figure out if you're the right Spider-Man or not. And he, asks you trivia questions. Based on comic books, not based on anything that's happened in the game itself. It's based on comic books.
Yeah.
If I remember that right, yeah.
You make it sound like the quiz show in Earthworm Jim, too.
That I don't know of. I know Earthworm Jim, obviously, but I don't know the quiz show in Earthworm Jim, too.
Yeah, there was a stage where you're navigating this area and you end up on a quiz show. And it's got, multiple choice questions and everything, and you have to get through it to get items and basically answer right to prevent from getting killed.
See, here's one of the questions that Wolverine asked Spider-Man. Where did you first wear the black suit? And then you have, I can't even read that one.
Multiple choice questions? Really?
It's multiple choices because your answer is mapped to the face buttons.
Yeah.
Y, B, A, X.
Yeah.
And Y is to a costume party. B is not your business. A is Battle World. X, by the way, the answers, now the gamepad buttons are in the colors they should be.
Right.
The answers underneath, like to a costume party and not your business, all that stuff, they're written in yellow. X, the answer for X is written in yellow, which happens to be over Wolverine's costume, which is yellow.
Can't see it.
And I can't see what that says. Mm-hmm. But Battle World is the answer. Otherwise known as Secret Wars number 8. By the way. But yeah, it's comic book questions, man. So, gosh, it still looks good, though. There was a sheen, there was a sheen to the suit, either suit you're wearing, either the black suit or the red suit.
Yeah.
And, God, it still doesn't look too bad. Now, I'm looking at combat here. It hasn't shown the swinging through the city. It's just showing me combat from this, but man. Luke Cage is in this one as well. I mentioned Moon Knight, Luke Cage. Yep. I can't remember. That looks like one of the Goblin guys is in this as well. Yeah, there's Moon Knight and his ship, which is great. You know what? I actually might look into trying getting this running on my PC again.
The nostalgia hit you.
Yeah. Well, no. Not only did it hit me, though, looking at the game again, I was like, that does not look as bad as, you know what I'm saying? It doesn't look as bad. I know how it plays, but it doesn't look as bad. Mm-hmm. Anyway, I've been playing Spider-Man on PS5. I've really been enjoying it. I haven't advanced the story because I'm just enjoying swooping around the thing.
You're having fun.
Yeah, I have. Yeah. Like, apparently, the last cutscene I got, Kraven, who is like one of the enemies in the thing, comes to New York. So far, that's it. He's arrived in New York. His goons, his villains, and whatever, his henchmen and all this stuff haven't been spread around the city, haven't done any of this sort of thing just yet.
I thought Kraven was a one-on-one type of guy, doesn't really need henchmen or whatever.
Yeah, but he's going to have that because you're going to run into his faction, of people, because that's just how it works. He is a one-on-one guy, so I'd imagine the fight that you probably have with him will be one-on-one.
Yeah,
but I don't know about the other stuff. Anyway,
yeah, it's just the type of character I wouldn't think he would have henchmen.
Right.
I'm not familiar with the character in the comic books, but he always seemed to be like the obsessed with having a one-on-one fights with strong opponents, things like that. So yeah.
Well, we'll see. Again, I haven't advanced the story enough to even have that happen. Right now, I'm just battling crimes that pop up, whether it be a break-in or a car chase or
street crime.
Yeah, just little street crime stuff. That is it. That is all I'm doing. And okay. I was reading the chat room again. He said, "Poor Scott looked like he was trying to read that comment out of context. It was the easy answer to where I first wore the black suit." Yeah. There were other questions there. I don't remember them, but I remember the fight with Logan, and I thought, wasn't that like a quiz? And sure enough, it was. Mm-hmm. And I remembered specifically, it's a quiz on comic books. It is not a quiz on anything to do with that game at all. So I thought that was great. But yeah, Spider-Man's really just what I've been playing. I did download, and I haven't played it. This is going back to PlayStation 1 days, PSX. Blood Omen Legacy of Kain. The very first in the
Soul Reaver?
It's odd. They've had different titles.
I thought it was Soul Reaver series. I thought that was what it was called.
Soul Reaver had a series, but it was Legacy of Kain Soul Reaver.
No. Oh.
And then it was Legacy of Kain Soul Reaver 2.
Okay.
The weird one about this one is it's Blood Omen Legacy of Kain. Then they did Legacy of Kain Blood Omen 2. Mm-hmm. Then they did Legacy of Kain Defiance, which was the final one in the series.
So the Legacy of Kain series.
Basically, even though it really started as a subtitle. Mm-hmm. It was basically Blood Omen Legacy of Kain. Unless I'm reading the box wrong and it was Legacy of Kain Blood Omen, maybe that was it.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, the only common in all those titles is Legacy of Kain.
Yeah, I know, exactly.
So just call it that.
Splitting hairs at the moment on what the titles would be, but that's what they went with. But I haven't played it yet, but boy, I downloaded it. Mm-hmm. You want to talk about nostalgia. You want to talk about going back to something that doesn't look the best, but why would you expect it to? Yeah. Coming from early PlayStation days. Mm-hmm. And yeah, the first game is on GOG. Good old games, if you want to do that. For the... man, that would be great if it was on GOG, but it's not. Mm. The thing of it is, it was an Activision Blizzard game. The Web of Shadows. It was an Activision game. Mm-hmm. Now, the Marvel license, I think, is with Sony now? Or maybe it's just the Marvel license for specific characters is with Sony now.
Venom is with Sony, isn't it?
Venom is with Sony,
Venom
yes.
is with Sony, okay.
But that's films.
Films, yeah.
Yeah, games are different. Yeah. And I know, obviously, because Insomniac are doing Spider-Man and Spider-Man 2, Spider-Man license sits with them. They're also doing the Wolverine game. That sits with them as well. So I'm not sure. But it'd be interesting that, Microsoft technically owns that game specific. Mm-hmm. So I'm not sure why they wouldn't try and get it back out there. But then again, if the license of that is moved over, that is the reason why. Yeah. So, all right, we got to take a break because I have just talked us all the way into 20 minutes till the top of the hour here. We'll start off with I just realized. Don't need the music. Since he's not here. So I'll just let that pop in as it's going to pop in. Right now we're doing more recent games. And this comes from Tiny Terry's Turbo Trip, which I've never heard of. And this is called Sprankle Water. Yeah. Tiny Terry's Turbo Trip. We'll be back with more of In-Game Chat. Right after this, we got anniversaries to talk about, by the way.
Okay.
Tons of anniversaries actually coming up. Yesterday was Video Game Day, National Video Game Day. And then today at least holds 2 special anniversaries, a pretty big one, and we'll talk about that coming up here in just a bit on In-Game Chat. We'll be right back. He said as he clicked the button. There it is. Welcome back into In-Game Chats, and this is music from Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii. Name of the track is called Anchors Away. All right, so some anniversaries that we have going on here. Yesterday I told you it was Video Game Day. And then our friend Dave sent me something, said, here's a little bit of gaming history for you. And it was a KB Toys ad for $10 off the Mortal Kombat Home Editions. Mortal Monday was September 13th back then. Back in 1993. Mm-hmm. You know, I'd totally forgotten they did that, like when they did Sonic Tuesday and...
Yep.
Tuesday was fine because Tuesday they would release games on a Tuesday.
Yeah.
Mortal Monday was like, what? They were releasing a game on a Monday?
Yeah, something different.
Any sort of media released on a Monday was very strange back. Now it's like, yeah, whatever you release, you release.
Yeah, release whenever you feel like it. But yeah, Tuesday was the standard day, so Monday was something that stood out, that really made it stand out.
Yeah.
So that brought more attention to it.
Yep. So yeah, there's that, and that goes back to 93, and of course we're about to get the Legacy Collection of the game. Now, the ones they were promoting there was the Genesis and SNES versions of the game, whether you were Team Blood or Team Sweat. And but it also said, also available for the Game Boy and Game Gear versions available as well, which I believe we're getting in the Legacy Collection coming up whenever that's due to release. Sometime this fall, I believe, is when we're getting that at some point. So, yeah. And today, I believe, if I remember from the Nintendo Direct that we watched, today is the 40th anniversary? Yeah, today is the 40th anniversary of Super Mario Brothers being released in Japan.
Mm-hmm.
So glad that we could have been here to do a show on Mario's birthday. So I think that's great. We have done countless number of episodes on countless number of days, some that fall, wherever they fall, the different timelines and things like that, and it just happened to be today that we were able to do an episode on the day of Mario's anniversary, 40 years old. They did a whole Nintendo Direct. Well, they did like a 15, 20-minute Nintendo Direct focusing on Mario and other Mario stuff for the Switch 2. And we're going to go over that coming up next hour, I believe. And we'll go, not only will we go into the Mario games, but also the other stuff that they announced as well. It was a pretty chunky Nintendo Direct yesterday with a lot of stuff. Whether it's a lot of stuff I'm interested in or feel like I'm going to pay that kind of money for, that remains to be seen. And we'll get into that coming up a little bit later. Sticking with Nintendo, though, I have not read this article, but I found it from PC Gamer. It talks about an embarrassing failure of the U.S. patent system. A video game IP lawyer says Nintendo's latest patents on Pokemon mechanics should not have happened. The last 10 days have brought a string of patent wins for Nintendo. Yesterday, the company was granted a patent covering riding and flying systems similar to those that Nintendo has been criticized for, claiming in its Pal World lawsuit. And then last week, however, Nintendo received a more troubling weapon in its legal arsenal. A patent on summoning and battling characters that the United States Patent and Trademark Office granted with alarmingly little resistance. According to video game patent lawyer Kirk Sigmund, the United States Patent Office granting Nintendo these latest patents isn't just a moment of questionable legal theory, it's an indictment of American patent law. Quoting him, "Broadly, I don't disagree with the many online complaints about these Nintendo patents," said Sigmund, whose opinions do not represent those of his firm and clients. He goes on to say, they have been an embarrassing failure of the U.S. patent system. He said both this week's 387th patent and last week's 397th represent procedural 397 represent procedural irregularities in the decision-making of U.S. patent officials. And thanks to those irregularities, Nintendo has yet more tools to bully its competitors. The patent that was granted this week got a bit of a pushback, but barely. After its initial application was deemed invalid due to similarities to existing Tencent and Xbox-related patents, Nintendo amended its claims based on interviews with the USPTO, which then determined that the claims were allowable, quoting them, for substantially the same reasons as parent applications. That parent case, Sigmund said, had an even weirder and much less useful prosecution history. Most of the claims made in that single parent case were immediately allowed by the Patent Office, which Sigmund said is a very unusual result. Most claims are rejected at least once. When the claims were ultimately allowed, the only reasoning the office offered was a block quote of text from the claims themselves. Sigmund said, this seems like a situation where the United States Patent Office essentially gave up and just allowed the case, assuming that the claims were narrow or specific enough to be new without evaluating them too closely. I strongly disagree with this result. In my view, these claims were in no way allowable. Sigmund, by the way, is an IP attorney, mostly dealing with patent and patent laws. The one that was granted last week is even more striking. It's a patent on summoning and battling with sub-characters using specific language, suggesting it's based on the Let's Go mechanics in the Pokemon Scarlet and Violet video games. Despite its relevance to a conceit in countless games, calling characters to battle enemies for you, it was allowed without any pushback whatsoever from the Patent Office, which Sigmund said is essentially unheard of. Like the above case, the reasons for allowances don't give us even a hint of why it was allowed. The examiner just paraphrases the claims without explaining why the claims are allowed over the prior art, Sigmund said. He went on to say this is extremely unusual and raises a large number of red flags. This allowance should not have happened, full stop, he said. On paper, the patent might not seem like a threat to Nintendo's competitors. The claims are constructed in the outline a very specific sequence of events and inputs, and patent claims must be met word for word to be infringed. Pragmatically speaking, though, it's not impossible to be sued for patent infringement even when a claim infringement argument is weak, and bad patents like this cast a massive shadow on the industry. For a company at Nintendo's scale, the claims of the patent don't need to make for a strong argument that would hold up in court. The threat of a lawsuit can stifle competition well enough on its own when it would cost millions of dollars to defend against. So basically what you're saying, you were talking about how you weren't sure you understood. I don't know if that made it clearer.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like, what if Capcom said nobody can make fighting games where characters throw fireballs?
Right.
Because Ryu was a version, throwing a fireball in a fighting game is strictly a Capcom thing, and anybody else who does something like that, we can sue you for that.
Not even fireball. They would say projectile.
Yeah, something. Yeah,
right.
There you go, projectile. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. They would not call it a fire because what isn't it?
Fireball is more projectile is a lot more wide open than
absolutely
fireball is. Yeah.
And is it a fireball?
Yeah, that's up there. I can hear the legalese right now.
Because when was it Dawson?
Yeah.
When he sets you on fire, you're on fire.
Yeah.
When you get hit with a fireball from Ken or Ryu, you just get knocked back. You don't burn.
Yeah, smacked. Well, changes been maybe, yeah. Originally, yeah, you just get smacked and knocked back. Yeah.
Right, exactly. That's why I think they would change it to projectile rather than they would for fireball. You know what I mean? And be really specific about it.
Yeah, but this sounds like real slippery slope territory.
Well, what it sounds like, it's not being specific. It sounds like that's what they did. They made it. They made it necessarily, or not necessarily. They made it openly vague and got the patent through. So now, if anything remotely does something in that way, I mean, who is Digimon? Who owns that?
I don't know. Whatever.
Isn't that a battler thing where you summon something to battle for you?
Yeah, something like that. Digital Monsters, I think, is what it's short for. Toei and Bandai.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's the same aspect. Basically, it's the patent. It's the fact that they were very specific about it. Not necessarily that patent office granted it. Yes, they did, and they shouldn't have. They should have looked more into it. But at the same time, they just left it kind of very vague, like we're going to summon a creature to fight for you. And I didn't read the entire patent to know, like, here's how it has to flow in order for to do that. But that was the other point. It doesn't matter. If Nintendo sends you a cease and desist, you've got to decide, am I going to fight this with what money? Or am I just going to cease and desist? You know? And it gives them, now that they have that patent, it gives them the leverage to do that if they want to. I know.
Or you're going to have to get real creative in the way you implement the system. Something.
Yeah. And that would require your lawyers looking over the patent to say, okay, you can do it this way. This is how you can get away with it. You know? Maybe, even then. Because even if they do come to sue, you've still got to have the money to fight that in court.
Yeah. And
you got to hope you can win against a company like Nintendo. And I don't want to paint Nintendo in a horrible light. They've been very, very protective of their IP.
Fiercely protective of their IP. They got it's part of their reputation.
It is. It absolutely is. The famous one, and I've used it on our morning show here on the station during my little segment where I talk about random facts, was the fact that there were 2 adult films that were made like Mario stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like Mario and Luigi and whatever else.
Yeah.
2 of those. Nintendo bought the rights to those. Like, they didn't do a cease and desist. They just outright bought the rights. They owned it. And then they buried it and got rid of it, you know?
Yep.
They made sure that, okay, we own that. Nobody's ever going to do it again, you know? And nobody ever has. But they are fiercely protective of their IP. They have, countless number of YouTube videos where they've sent stuff to people who are showing off gameplay footage that if it has music in there, they pull it down. If it has video in there, they pull it down. I mean, even just a little bit, they'll go after them with it.
Yeah.
And nobody really fights it. They just stopped really putting up Nintendo stuff, or they stopped monetizing their Nintendo stuff, which was the other way you could get around it. Just don't monetize. Which is for YouTube creators, that is negative. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That is doing work for free, if that's the case. So yeah, and I think there was somebody else in the news this week. I didn't talk about it on here, but I think there was somebody else in the news this week who was ordered to pay like $2 million to Nintendo. I think it was. I don't know if it was pirating or what it was, but they got caught with that as well, and Nintendo got them.
Is that the folks who did the modding for the NES, the Nintendo Mini?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't remember who it was, but they got burned as well for $2 million. I think it's just one individual now owes Nintendo $2 million.
Yeah, let's see. A Switch modder who represented himself in piracy case ordered to pay Nintendo $2 million.
Mm-hmm.
Ill-fated stand against the company seized in piracy litigation.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they're really, really protective, but this feels like they're going out of their way. I don't even say out of their way. This feels like they're actively going into a direction to completely make sure that they own that aspect of Pokemon.
Mm-hmm.
Pal World comes to mind in that regard as to maybe why they're taking these steps. I've not played Pal World. Pal World is very Pokemon-esque.
Yeah.
So much so that they did get sued by Nintendo for it, but it was only a certain aspect of it they were getting sued over.
Yeah, the shape of the
container of the exactly.
Yeah.
Couldn't be a ball, right?
Yeah.
I think that's what it was.
Yeah.
But yeah, so one of those situations. I don't know. We've often used this phrase before on the show: corporate gonna corporate, and that is Nintendo for you. They're gonna. This is. Why am I surprised? Right.
Yeah.
So, all right. When we come back, we'll go. Speaking of Nintendo, we'll just keep rolling through Nintendo and going through the Nintendo Direct that took place yesterday. And go over some stuff there. Actually got some first-party titles out of it, which is a wonder because, well, there just haven't been that many announced for the Switch 2. We had Mario Kart World to kick it off, Donkey Kong Bonanza afterwards. That's about it as far as first-party titles. I think there's some, like, other games that came, like, with the system or that you can buy for the system that are much smaller type stuff. Like there's that, there's the whole one that shows you all the different features of the Switch 2, but it's like $10 for you to buy it and play it or whatever. I don't even know if it's considered a game as much as it is like a demo type thing than what it is. But really not a lot. Now there may be some third-party titles that they've released that are only on Nintendo, but are only on the Switch 2, but not a lot from Nintendo themselves. Is my main point, is what I'm saying. So we'll get into that, and that's all coming up. We got music here from a game called Echoes of Plum Grove. It's called The Storm Rages. We'll be back with more of In-Game Chat right after this. Welcome back into In-Game Chat. This is music from, well, NEYYAH that we're going to be talking about today with Aaron there. This is called the Signal Tower, I think. So, yeah, we were going to have him on and talk about that game, which is out now on Steam, by the way. It's a point and click, and it's the old school point and click. So anyway, welcome back into the show. Let's talk about the Nintendo Direct that took place yesterday. Started off celebrating the 40th anniversary of Super Mario Brothers. Not Mario Brothers in general, but just Super Mario Brothers. They talked about the new film, which is going to be called the Super Mario Galaxy Movie. So it's obviously having to do with Super Mario Galaxy. That's a series of games I did not really play. I never played Mario Galaxy. I want to say that I tried to play Mario Galaxy 2 and didn't play much of it. I mean, very, very little. But I was always interested in them, but I just never played them. So, yeah, we got to look at the new film. Talked about some of the stuff that's going to be showing up at the Nintendo Museum in Japan. With sketch work of the original Mario Brothers game and how they put all that together and stuff like that. It was really interesting to see some of that, but I really hope there's something like that gets built over here. A Nintendo museum. Something like that would be really cool to see. They announced that we were going to get brand new, well, no, not brand new. We're going to get Mario Galaxy 1 and 2 are going to be released for the Switch and the Switch 2. They will be released separately online, and they will also be released as a bundle. They're $40 each. So $80 to get the two, although if you buy them physically, I think it's only $70. So physical gets a $10 discount, where you get both games, both Mario Galaxy and Galaxy 2. So that's a bit steep for me. I know it's two games, but you could have gone cheaper than that.
Two older titles, though.
They're older titles now, and I have no idea. I guess they're going to get some resolution upgrades, perhaps, on the Switch 2. I don't know. But yeah, that's coming out in October.
Yeah, but the thing is, though, now that I think about it, another part of Nintendo's reputation, price drops.
Never.
Not part of their...
or if they are, small.
Small, yeah.
You know? Hey, we've got a sale. It's $5 off. Yeah. I wasn't thinking of like $65 for this. I was thinking of more like, $50, you get all of them, $50, you get both.
Nope. Not in their DNA.
No, it really isn't. Then we got an announcement for Mario Tennis Fever, which is brand new. I'd completely forgotten about the Mario sports titles.
Yeah.
And I know Mario Kart is kind of in that sort of vein, but not necessarily when you compare it to Mario Tennis, Mario Golf,
auto racing,
Mario Baseball was another one that they did, which inevitably leads into Mario Party, which is just nothing but mini games with the Mario crew. But yeah, Mario Tennis Fever. There's a lot in that game. 38 characters, the most that they've ever had. And a lot of different activities, ranked matches, unranked matches. There's a couple other things in there, some online options, and an adventure mode that sort of tells a story. Like there is an actual, what's kind of looks like a small Mario game inside this tennis thing that uses tennis mechanics in it to move around on the field or the play field or whatever it is. I don't know. It just, the more I looked at it, the more I was like, man, that's a lot of stuff they're putting in a tennis game. An actual single-player adventure mode that tells a story. Let's see. We're getting a Switch 2 upgrade to Super Mario Bros. Wonder, which was released on the Nintendo Switch. not too long ago. A couple, not last fall, but the year before, I think. Not last year, but the year before, I think it got released on the Switch 1. And so they're going to have a Switch 2 edition that'll be brought over to the Switch 2. That is coming out in spring of next year. We're getting a brand new Yoshi game, Yoshi and the Mysterious Book. It's a magical book where players can experience a page-turning adventure full of classic side-scrolling platform hijinks. It's out on Switch 2 next spring. It's got some interesting artwork in there. Kind of looks like it's, I don't want to say hand-drawn, but like the coloring and the movement and everything seems to be kind of stop-motion type stuff. It's interesting. Then they moved on. That was the Mario stuff. Then they moved on to other games. Stormlancer's coming out on Switch. It's either playable in solo or co-op if you want to do that. It's a roguelike adventure, by the way. It is on the Switch eShop, released yesterday. Dinkum is another one that hit the eShop yesterday as well. That is a life sim. It'll be on the demo hit the eShop yesterday. The actual release is coming up in November. Popucom. It is which sees players tossing colors and shifting scenery to explore its world. It's out this winter on Switch. Tomodachi Life, Living the Dream. That's the one where you play with your like Mii characters that you created back on the Nintendo Wii.
Yeah.
Which I don't know if mine's still around. I think it is, because I think I use my Wii character as a icon on my Switch as it is right now. But that's going to be spring next year for that. They talked about the Mortal Kombat Legacy Collection getting released on the Switch 2. The digital version will be out October 30th, but the physical release doesn't hit until December 12th on the Switch. I don't know when the actual game releases for everybody, but on the Switch, digital October 30th, physical December 12th. Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade, the first game in the Final Fantasy Remake trilogy, is coming to Switch 2 on January 22nd of next year. Pre-orders are now available. Linked Banner of Spark. It's an action RPG that I was not interested in. Hades 2 got a Switch release date. That will be September the 25th. That is the eShop release. But the physical version will not release until November 20th. What else do we have? Oh, they added some amiibos. You get some Mario amiibos, and there's some other ones. Oh, the Metroid Prime amiibo as well. Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment. That's a new one there. That'll be released in November, on November 6th for the Switch 2. Dragon Quest VII Reimagined. It's a remake of the PlayStation 1 game. First released in 2000, and it's coming to the Switch 2 on February the 5th of next year. Fatal Frame 2 is getting a remake and getting a release there. They also talked about some Switch 2 games that will be getting upgrades. Then there was Power Wash Simulator 2. Donkey Kong Bonanza is getting some paid DLC. There was some Pokemon news in there. Pokemon Legends ZA Mega Dimension DLC. What else did we get? Monster Hunter Stories 3. Resident Evil Requiem coming to the Switch 2. That was interesting to see. That'll hit in February 27th of next year. And on that same day, Resident Evil 7 and 8 will be coming to the Switch 2 as well. I think maybe in a bundle on that one. I'm not sure. And then Fire Emblem Fortune's Weave is coming out next year at some point. As soon as they showed gameplay for that, I was like, that's not me. That's not me. Two things that I want to bring up, and I'll bring up the odd to say that this will be the less impressive of the two things. We got a release date for Metroid Prime 4 Beyond. This game has been touted. Metroid Prime 4 has been teased since I used to go to E3. In fact, the last E3 I went to, Reggie was still with Nintendo. And teased Metroid Prime 4. And it just took forever for them to get around to it. But It finally has a release date, December the 12th of this year. They're going to release some amiibos for it as well. And they showed off, I guess, Samus riding a motorbike, which tells me that it's going to be a massive open world. Where, it goes into third person when you're on the bike, it goes into first person whenever you get off.
Yep.
But to have a way to traverse the area on a vehicle seems to indicate that it's going to be a pretty big open world.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened with First Descendant. They introduced, in this season, speeder bikes, basically. Things like they were in Destiny. So there's a big area, a huge area for you to run around in using these things. So, yeah, it would indicate having a vehicle for Samus to run around in. Probably is going to be open world type of big areas to play with or go around in this thing. And it looks like she fights on things as well. Too,
on
right?
the bike as well? Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
The bike combat, and then, off bike combat, I guess, if that's a way for you to say it.
Yeah.
The other thing that was really, I don't necessarily want to say it's impressive, but they announced that Virtual Boy was going to be coming to the Nintendo Classics. That's the one where you can play old Nintendo games on your Switch and Switch 2. Virtual Boy was very specific, as in you needed a peripheral in order to, or you know what I'm saying, you needed the Virtual Boy console in order to play Virtual Boy games. And by the way, just as a side, I always thought that it was Virtua Boy, but no, it's apparently Virtual Boy. For whatever reason, at some point, that was Virtua, but it's Virtual Boy. From February 17th of next year, Switch Online Plus expansion pack subscribers on Switch and Switch 2 can get into 14 different Virtual Boy titles. However, you have to buy an accessory in order to play them in 3D as they originally were, envisioned to do. There are cardboard versions that are coming and plastic versions that are coming, and more details will follow. The version they showed on this Direct was just like, that's just a regular Virtual Boy. I mean, it's not. It opens up and you put your Switch inside of it and then close it, and then you look through the viewfinder to see it.
Some apparatus that you get, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But I was insanely impressed. I feel like the Virtual Boy, and maybe that's not. Maybe there's probably some Nintendo heads who would tell me completely otherwise. But I thought the Virtual Boy was one of the flops that Nintendo made. You know what I'm saying? I thought that was something they would never revisit. I mean, it's part of their history, and that's fine. They would go into it, but I never thought that they would revisit it in this way, releasing those games to be played, and also releasing a device in order for you to play them the way that they were meant to be played. I am impressed, surprised, shocked, aghast, whatever it is. I did not expect it, and then 14 titles on top of it.
Yeah.
I don't know how many titles they released for that thing, but 14 seems like all of them. More than I thought they had. So whenever they announced that, I just thought, that is amazing. It gave
22.
me... How many?
22.
Really? And we're getting 14? Why not just release the rest of them?
Who knows?
Well, it gives me hope for the Power Pad, the Super Scope.
No.
What was another... I mean, obviously you got Rob the Robot, but...
yeah. Gyromite.
I know.
Hey, you wanted to bring back that controller for Steel Battalion?
Yeah, that's not a Nintendo thing. That was just a game thing.
Yeah, but something that one and done, right?
It is.
Yeah.
But you could play the game without that. I think. I don't know if you had to have that, but I think you could play the game without it. What were some other Nintendo peripherals I was wanting to think of? That I mean, there's the Power Glove.
Power Glove, yeah.
But there weren't. I don't remember there being any specific games strictly for the Power Glove.
All I knew was that it was in a movie.
Right, yeah, it was in a movie.
That's all I really knew.
But in other words, I don't think there was a game where it's like, you can't play that unless you have the Power Glove. It's like Virtual Boy, you can't play those games unless you have Virtual Boy. Super Scope, you can't play those games unless you have I don't know if you needed the Super Scope or needed the light gun, but you needed that.
Yeah.
You can't play that game without the power pad. I think, maybe. The power pad was just you pressing buttons and using your body as a controller, right?
Mm-hmm.
So maybe you could play without that. I'm not sure. Although none of them seemed anything interesting to do. Anyway, I was I was really surprised to see the Virtual Boy show up as something that you could play with.
Oh, so you said 14 games, right?
That's what they're releasing, yeah.
Yeah, the America saw 14 titles released. There are 22 official games released. Of these, 8 titles were exclusive to Japan.
Really?
So, yeah, 3 to North America, and the other 11 were released in both regions.
So we're getting all the games that were released in the U.S.?
Pretty much, yeah.
I'll be. Yeah, Track and Field was Lethal Migrant says Track and Field. Not sure if you needed the power pad, but that game was made for it. Lethal Migrant also says Virtual Boy was an absolute failure, horrible to use, and made everyone sick.
I didn't know that part.
I do remember the sickness.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I also remember it being a failure.
Yeah. What was it? What was it from? The color scheme, the motion?
I think
sickness?
it was. I think it was the color scheme and the 3D that was in there was throwing them off. The color scheme is just it's red.
Mm-hmm.
Like everything is red. It looks like you're looking through like Terminator in rage mode screen. You know what I'm saying? Like everything is just completely red. Red and black. That's it. I never had one. I know Jeremy had one. But I never had one. I was always interested in it because it was like, ooh, virtual reality. It's here. No, it's really not. I would say it is now.
Yeah,
given what we've got, but it was not with the Virtual Boy.
No.
Virtual Boy just seemed like, here, wear this, or not even wear this. Buy this thing that sits on a table. We could have done this with regular, some kind of 3D glasses, but we're doing it through this thing. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. It looked like it was something that you just need to look through in order to experience.
Yeah, the viewfinder.
Yeah, and I don't know the details of it. I don't know how it all worked, but it just seemed like, hey, here, put these glasses on. If you look through this, then you're gonna get the effect.
Yeah,
I don't know. That's just me. So,
I was looking at these titles and I couldn't see anything that stood out really.
Of course not.
Nothing really.
There was a failure.
Yeah.
If anything stood out, they would have run with it. Nothing did. Was not a great device.
I think the only thing interesting I see on here is 3D Tetris.
That's one of the ones that is going to get. Well, obviously they're releasing all of them, but yeah, that's one that they're going to release is the 3D Tetris. I have no idea how that looks or how it works. Do the blocks look like they're coming right at you? 3D is different. 3D has different. We talked about this because if you talk about 3D films, people talk about there is before the frame and beyond the frame, and as much as people like to tell you that it is beyond the frame, that is the 3D. That is what makes 3D. I would suggest it is the before the frame, the depth. The depth of a screen, the depth of the scene, the depth of whatever it is to show that these two characters or this object or whatever it is in front of everything else in the background, and they all look like they have their space. They all look like they are... the depth gives you that 3D feel. The whole thing of like, hey, it's coming out of the screen towards me, that's a great gimmick, but you can't do that for the entire film. And there are ways to enhance it. We talked about it, the Ghostbusters from whatever year that was, 2016, I think?
2016, yeah.
Yeah, 2016 Ghostbusters did a fantastic job with their 3D effect, where you had the black bars, but anything that was in 3D extended beyond those black bars. Like, if you took your glasses off, you could see them going outside of those black bars on the screen. Put your glasses on, it does the same effect, but it really gives you that sense that it comes out of the screen towards you. That was fantastic, and one of the best films I ever saw utilize 3D ever. But when you talk about stuff like Avatar or some of the other 3D films, It's more of the depth of the scene, not necessarily that it looked like it was coming out at you. Yes, there are points where it does do that, but for the most part, the entire film is carried, or 3D effect is carried by the depth, the before the frame, and not beyond the frame. That was me. It was just me looking at 3D. I absolutely loved the 3D era. I hate that it's actually gone. I'm okay with it, honestly, but yeah, I was there for it. And I loved every bit of it. And then when Sony was trying to do the 3D games, they did really great. I know Uncharted 3, I think, was in 3D, maybe. Killzone 2 or 3 had 3D effects in it. MLB The Show.
MLB The Show, yeah.
Had a 3D effect. That was one of the best ones.
Yeah, because the ball's coming at you.
The ball, buddy. Those pitches, and especially if you watch them in any kind of a replay or anything like that, oh my God, it was good. That's a good effect of before and beyond the frame type of thing. Because when the ball is thrown, you don't get an indication that it is coming beyond the frame. It is the depth of the scene that gives that indication, that helps that effect, and it helps sell what it's trying to do. And it was done very, very well. Sony did a fantastic job with the PlayStation 3 to implement 3D for as little as it lasted. They didn't need to do it, but they did it anyway. Like we talk about how companies capitalize on things and copy them. You know, the Wii came out and it was like, well, we got to put motion controls in everything that we do. Worked for some, it didn't work for others. But it didn't work for anybody like it worked for Nintendo. Sony couldn't do it with the Move, and Microsoft couldn't do it with Kinect, as hard as they tried. And there were some things that the Kinect could do very well that were fun to use with the Kinect, but it just wasn't there. And the 3D is something that Sony's the only one that ever tried that. Microsoft didn't jump into it. Nintendo didn't jump into it. Not the more modern stuff. Nintendo was there back with Rad Racer because that came with 3D glasses. I remember that. It was just the red and blue glasses, and it sucked. But it was one of those things where it's like, hey, that's cool. Let's take a break here and come back and do our final segments here, which we got plenty of news to pick from here. But we'll be right back. We've got music here from Warriors Abyss. Title track the title of this track is called Guardian of Hell. We'll be right back with more of In-Game Chat after this. Hey, welcome back to In-Game Chat. This is music from Astrobot. It is called Bite It. It is from a boss fight in one of the games. You've got a PS5 now. I think I don't know. It's a platformer. I don't know if you'd enjoy that or not. I don't know how you feel about platformers. I don't know where you sit with those.
Oh, play enough Sonic.
That's true.
Yeah, so.
Sonic guy. So yeah, you that might be something you enjoy. I don't know. I got some hard challenges in there. Okay. So maybe that would
trophy hunting type thing.
Yes, because you'll get a trophy for them, but it's more like 100% completion on the game.
Okay, yeah.
And I don't mean all the DLC or all the... which, by the way, it has no paid DLC.
Mm-hmm. I
think it does have like a digital deluxe edition, but I think you... Yeah. I don't know what you get with that, if you get anything. I'm not sure.
Oh, when I bought the PS5, it had Astrobot come with it.
So. It had Astro's Playroom.
No, I got Astrobot.
Oh, it did?
Yeah. The one I bought had Astrobot come with it.
Oh.
It was a code to download the game itself, so, yeah.
Did you?
I haven't played it yet.
Does your controller look like Astrobot?
No.
Okay. I was like, did you get the Astrobot Special Edition PS5?
No, just the regular one that came, that came with it.
Yeah. Well, because I know when I got my PS5, there was a download available called Astro's Playroom, which kind of demoed the system for you.
Yeah.
But then there was also the Astrobot video game as well. And you got the Astrobot game that released last year, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Which you probably also have Astro's Playroom to mess around with as well. So why not? Give those a shot. See if you like them. I don't know. Try it. Let's see. Going back to our news here. Well, let me go over to Twitch, see if anybody's saying anything. Lethal Migraine on the Virtual Boy. It was in my local Toys R Us for about 6 months. They put it on clearance for $20, never to be seen again.
Goodness.
I wonder, can you hit up eBay, see if there's Virtual Boys available?
Okay.
And just, give me an idea of what you're looking at price-wise.
All right. Let's see. Now the first one pops up, says $150, as is untested, so it's probably an old one, used, very well used. Let's see. Nintendo Virtual Boy console, VUE 001, red, Japan. That's $498. With Virtual Boy console with standing blockbuster carrying case, untested, $400.
Wow.
Let's see. With power adapter and stand, tested, $300. Let's see. Hard case, hard shell, blockbuster video storage, $166.
This sounds like somebody who left Blockbuster and walked away with the rental units of the of the system itself back when they would do that.
Yeah.
Did you? And this is me just going off on the thing here. Did you ever rent from like the video store a console?
No.
Okay.
Just the games.
I did it once, or at least my father did it once, I think.
Yeah.
And I don't remember what system it was. It was not a Nintendo.
Genesis?
Well, when I say not a Nintendo, I mean it was not the Nintendo Entertainment System. I had one of those.
Yeah. I mean, did you? I know you had, but you swapped consoles.
I was not brand loyal to my consoles. I did leave and come back.
Yeah, you got rid of some to get the other ones. Yeah. So I'm blanking. Was it a Genesis or a Saturn?
I don't remember, man. I really don't. I remember it was
the game.
I don't remember.
Okay.
I swear I think we did it once. And you know what? It may have not been my father. It may have been when I was staying with my grandparents.
Mm-hmm.
And they did it. Mm-hmm. But I don't remember what system it was. I just remember it coming in that big suitcase, whatever thing, that's full of styrofoam.
Yeah.
And you get that, you plug it in, you do stuff, you play your games, then you take everything back. I know we did it once, but I don't remember what system it was.
Mm.
And you're right, it could have been a Nintendo system where I didn't have one at my grandparents' place and I didn't take it with me, and so they went and rented a thing for me. I guess I don't remember.
Mm.
I know I was young, but I don't remember what it was. I really don't remember what it was. So, anyway, going back to the news here, just a couple of things we can hit on because I didn't have a lot in here to talk about. It sounds like Machine Games, Matt had mentioned that he was doing the DLC for Indiana Jones. Machine Games, they are not done with Wolfenstein. It says, we have always seen this as a trilogy. And we got, what did we get? We got I thought they already did a trilogy.
Yeah, I thought it was. It was Wolfenstein, then Wolfenstein The New Order, and then Wolfenstein Youngblood, right?
I thought so.
Then you had the Old Blood, which was
that was DLC.
like a 1.5, 1.5 or something.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that was
I thought they were
DLC
done.
for it.
Unless they consider, if they don't consider.
I don't think they just
something
consider
as a sequel. Or
yeah,
canon
I'm going to
or
say
whatever.
Youngblood probably they don't consider as a sequel. Did they do?
Well,
look this
it's
up.
the same universe, though, right?
But was that theirs? Did some
Okay.
other company develop that?
Okay, let's see.
I'm going to look just like you are.
Okay.
Oh yeah, there was also the new that was Wolfenstein 2, the new
Yeah.
Colossus. Is that also Machine Games? Yeah.
Bethesda?
That's-
Youngblood, I mean.
Yeah,
Developed by Machine Games and Arcane Lion and published by Bethesda Softworks.
well, that might not have been. You know what?
Huh.
Here's what it is. It didn't have the numbering system.
Yeah. Oh, that's right.
It was Wolfenstein New Order, right?
Yeah, Wolfenstein: The New Order.
Then it was Wolfenstein,
Wolfenstein
2,
2,
the new Colossus.
Okay, Wolfenstein 2: The New Colossus was, that was 2017.
Right.
Huh.
Yeah, it was Wolfenstein the New Order, Wolfenstein the Old Blood, which was just DLC, then Wolfenstein 2, the new Colossus, and then Youngblood. So, yeah, I think we got to get a third one out of them that actually has the number 3
I
in
was
it.
going to say Wolfenstein 3, so yeah.
Yeah. What is that one? Oh, it says games we've collaborated on. So, I was just looking at their website. It's a really smooth website. By the way.
Okay, yeah.
So yeah, they're not done with that. They're going to continue. Although
So-
I think the Indiana Jones games are doing great for them. So.
Looking for 3, so yeah. Okay.
And that'd be great because I didn't like Youngbloods.
Yeah, it wasn't rated well when I saw it on here. They got like 6 out of 10s that I saw when I looked it up. Yeah, New Order got like 9s and 8s out of 10s. The new Colossus. Let's see what that one said. Pretty much about the same 9s, between 8 and 9 on that one. But then Youngblood, yeah, that got into the 6s
Yeah.
on that one.
I
Not as
wasn't-
good as the first 2.
Yeah, I wasn't big on it. I tried to play it, but I wasn't really big on it. Jumping over into other news here, 3 days ago, and this is, by the way, 3 days ago is not necessarily this. Was from September 5th. 3 days ago, Paramount announced that it had signed a deal with Activision to bring the iconic Call of Duty universe to life on the big screen. It promised something for fans and newcomers alike, but it gave no indication of when and where in the series' convoluted timeline that the movie would take place. Although some other website reporting it said that the Paramount deal comes after Activision had turned down a potential deal with Steven Spielberg, of all people. He has multiple links to the game industry, not least his involvement in creating Call of Duty's one-time inspiration, Medal of Honor. And alongside Universal, pitched his own version for what a Call of Duty movie could look like. He's apparently a big fan of the series, and obviously his name alone can get movies made, but that seems to have been the problem. With Spielberg comes the famous Spielberg deal, which includes top-of-market economics, final cut, and full control over production and marketing. Microsoft-owned Activision balked at handing over what amounts to more or less full creative control, and they went with Paramount instead, which kind of seems short-sighted. Imagine turning down the guy who made Saving Private Ryan to go with the studio responsible for Halo, which I think Steven had a little bit of a hand in as well. I thought he may have had a bit of a hand in that. Yeah, exactly. That's probably a little unfair on Paramount, not least because Spielberg is credited as an executive producer on the Halo show, which got 2 seasons, by the way. But the point does stand, and you could also mention Spielberg's involvement in Band of Brothers as well as Schindler's List. Then there's his direct link to the history of Call of Duty itself. He came up with the concept and story for 1999's Medal of Honor while immersed in World War II research, and after seeing his son play GoldenEye on the N64. The idea was a more serious and historical take on the military shooter. He would produce the first 3 games in the series before Activision poached key members of the Medal of Honor Allied Assault Team to form Infinity Ward. So it's not just that Spielberg's a big name or a great director. He's one of the key figures in creating the military shooter as we know it now. So yeah, we'll just have to figure out how that's going to play out. It is interesting that he did that. That they didn't want him having full control over it.
Mm-hmm.
Why not? I think you'll be fine. You know?
Yeah.
I think you would absolutely be fine in doing that. But whatever their plan is, maybe they think that Call of Duty is just too big to fail.
Okay.
I know. Like, Call of Duty is so massive that it doesn't matter how we produce this television show, it's going to bring in money.
That's Disney.
I say television show or movie or whatever.
Yeah, ask Disney that same question with their track record lately. Too big to fail, huh?
Some of them, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Marvel's not doing too great lately.
Nope. Anybody and everybody can fail.
Yeah,
right
exactly.
now. So
I don't get it either.
Play your cards right, folks.
Especially like with all of his stuff in World War II films and things like that. Come on. Unless Call of Duty is not trying to go that route.
True. I mean, they've been doing the modern future tech warfare type thing going right now. So,
and it very well may be that they want to do something that ties into whatever their next game is going to be whenever that comes around.
The most recent one, yeah.
And if that's the case, it probably wouldn't flow with whatever Steven Spielberg would have in mind. Because I gotta think he would go World War II.
Mm-hmm.
Just as, and let me tell you, he's absolutely fine in doing that because Call of Duty, the first one, was amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Was one of the best first-person shooters, much less World War II shooters that I had ever played. It was phenomenal. Medal of Honor probably was at that time, but I never played Medal of Honor. I played Call of Duty before I even touched Medal of Honor, and Call of Duty was great.
I had a good experience playing Medal of Honor.
Yeah?
Really good, yeah.
No, for me it was Call of Duty. That was my first World War... Well, probably Day of Defeat, but that's that's sort of a red versus blue type thing.
Yeah.
It's multiplayer only. It's your team against their team, and that Day of Defeat, and that's what it was. But my first war shooter type of thing would be Call of Duty. And not Modern Warfare. It would have been Call of Duty, the PC, the first of the series that they did. And it was just great. Fantastic. I was sucked into that just so good. I don't know if it still holds up today. I could go back and look, but it was really, really well done. Really, really well done. So
I agree with you. What you said is probably something to tie into whatever their latest release for Call of Duty is going to be. So use the movie for just a promo for
that's my
their
thought.
Game. Yeah,
they would want it to tie into their game, and I say they want to, but see, Microsoft owns that now. You know?
Yeah, they do.
So I don't know why they would care. What was I thinking about? Like Nintendo just now said, "Hey, we've got a movie coming out next spring, Super Mario Galaxy movie, but hey, let's release those games that share that name next month." You'd think he would say, hey, we're going to release these two. They're all upgraded. They're going to do this, but we're releasing them next spring alongside the film to capitalize on that. But no, I guess not. So I don't know.
$70.
God. I will say, I did find a website that had them for $45.
Back of the truck.
I don't know. It's a website called Shop2. I've never heard of them before, but somebody linked it. It's like, here's, and it looks legit enough, but it was like $45. Physical edition, both games.
Yeah.
Trying to look here, the indie, what is it called? ID at Xbox, the indie games, indie developers at Xbox. They had a demo fest that started earlier this week, Indie Selects Demo Fest, and I was going to go over 6 newly announced games. Something called Breaking Gates is a fast-paced 2D action RPG with hand-drawn visuals. That's available for you to try out. Faith, the Unholy Trinity, that is a cult indie horror sensation that finally arrives on Xbox. Halls of Torment. Slay hordes of terrifying monsters in this horde survival roguelike. Or roguelite. See how long you can survive. There's a game called Possessions. It's a reality-twisting adventure that challenges the way you see the world. Immerse yourself in a minimalist, atmospheric world free from text and distractions, where every rotation and alignment uncovers hidden paths and silent stories. Sounds like they're speaking my language. Whether you're looking for a relaxing break or a thoughtful challenge, Possessions offers an immersive journey that stimulates your mind and soothes your senses. It's a game about discovery, perception, and the quiet thrill of seeing the world from a new angle. Anyway, we also got Awaken, Astral Blade. That is a dark fairy tale. It doesn't tell me anything of like how it plays. I don't know if that's a platformer or a smash 'em up, or I don't know what it is. Oh, there's Echoes of the Plum Grove. We played music from Echoes of the Plum Grove earlier on. A new life awaits in Honeywood. Build a thriving community that will last generations in this cozy farm simulator. Farm, socialize, make friends, cook, craft, forage, and uncover the secrets of the island. If someone doesn't want to be friends, there are always other means. I don't know what that means, but that's what it was written there. And then there's a full list of demos. Oh, wow. Those were just 6 that they showed off. A pizza delivery, which looks like you just deliver pizza. Remember that game called, well, Lethal Migraine remembers it. It's a game called The Lake, or Lake, and you're just a postal person dropping off packages around the lake.
Yeah.
Pizza delivery looks like it's somewhat of the same.
Mm-hmm.
You just deliver pizza in this area. Adventures of a Cat in... I only have titles. I don't have descriptions. Adventures of a Cat in Space. What else do we have? Awaken, Astral Blade, Before I Go, Biped 2, Bonnie Bear Saves Frog Time, whatever that is. Cats on Duty, Cyber War, Neon City, Detective Dotson, Deck of Haunts, Dead Reset, Echoes of Plum Grove, we talked about that, Forgotlings, Gloomy Eyes. There's a whole lot of games for you to pick from on their little indie fest that they're going on.
I see they're up to 11 now. The Jackbox Party Pack.
Yeah, up to 11?
Yeah.
Wow. AC Wraith says Awaken Astral Blade is a Metroidvania. It's on his Steam wish list. And Lethal Migraine demands a Paperboy reboot. I mean, you kind of have it with the mail delivery game.
No, not really.
I know.
No, there's something about chucking a newspaper to the back of someone's head when they're trying to rob someone's house. Yeah, that one.
Oh, real quick shout out to, well, you hear him all the time, Rich Thomas, who does our weather. He sent me a text this morning. He was apparently over at Costco. And he sent me a picture of the full-size Star Wars pinball that Costco is selling. Yeah. It's $4,700.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, when I saw the price, I was like, okay, that's a full-fledged pinball price.
Yep.
47. $5K is like the running right now for brand new pinball machines.
Yep.
It's actually higher than that, really, but $5K and above that's when you're dealing with actual pinball machines and not some kind of like arcade one-up pinball machines. You know what I mean?
The shrunken version.
Yeah. You're actually getting legit pinball there.
Yeah.
So
how you gonna get it home?
I ain't buying. Well, how am I going to buy it first? That's worry about getting it home once I can figure out how to pay for it.
Yeah. Don't be like them folks. Get like a 75-inch screen and they come in their Ford Fiesta.
Yeah, load it up, boys. Take it home with me. All right, that is going to wrap it up for us. We are done. Thank you guys so much. We're going to interview Aaron coming up next week. He sent me a message and said that everything was, it was a PC issue and that he's working on it, so we're going to get that down to the bottom of that and get it fixed for you. Got music here from Avowed. Have a great week. We will see you next Saturday.